Children without families are the most vulnerable. There are over 153 million kids in the entire world that are orphans. That's an extremely alarming number, and there are many things to do to decrease that number. I've done the proper research and have made it a priority to get all my facts and information from reliable sources. Earlier, I informed you about those alarming numbers and mentioned there are ways to decrease them. However, before action is taken, it's important to know the causes for those numbers and what effect being without a family can have on a child. Why are there so many children that don't have families? There are about 4 main causes that lead to kids being without families. I'll first discuss poverty, lack of social services, and then finally wars and pandemics. Poverty is one of the main reasons a child can end up without a family. Without money, a parent/guardian won't be able to provide the things needed in order to sustain their kids' lives. According to the World Bank, 385 million children around the world are living in poverty. Lack of money and resources like health care also lead to diseases causing pandemics, but we will get into that later. Food and water are 2 of the most important things needed to sustain life, and not consuming these things can cause malnourishment. Social services will want to put the child in a place where they can receive food and water. Poverty also can limit the amount of education a child may receive. Without parents, the kids won't have much access to someone who can help them with their homework, and they will be forced to figure it out on their own. In other countries where a lot of the population is living in poverty, they don't receive the best of the best when it comes to textbooks, materials, etc. And torn up books and such can be distracting when trying to learn. All of this can cause vulnerable home situations that can lead to the kids getting kidnapped and pulled into the awful life of human trafficking. All of this can also lead to unhealthy eating habits, causing obesity and other health issues. It's no secret that healthy foods tend to be expensive, and if a family isn't making enough to afford those foods, then the chances of them having health problems arise. Not having enough money to buy the luxuries that classmates of a child may have can lead to low self-esteem and stress. Children tend to want what others have, and if their classmates have the newest Jordans or the newest iPhone, then it can make them feel excluded. Poverty is pretty much the root of all these other causes. The next main cause is the lack and misuse of social services. Lack of social services is just the fact that putting a child into an orphanage tends to be the first resort rather than the last resort. And there aren't many resources that actively help the parents be able to take care for their children. Of course, if the parents are deceased, then the orphanage would be looked at as a first option. However, other family members should be looked at as a first option as well. According to adoption.org, the lack of social services can also have an effect on the development of the child. They could possibly develop depression, attachment disorders, poor impulse control disorders, etc. Poor impulse disorder is something that hinders people from controlling their anger, which can lead to erratic decisions. In many other countries, war and pandemics are a huge cause in orphanages. War causes a lot of kids to lose their families due to bombs, being a prisoner of war, a soldier, etc. This is more common in other countries that are constantly at war. Pandemics like one we are in now can also lead to the death of a child's parents, causing them to be an orphan. According to many sources like the National Center for Biotechnology Information, HIV and AIDS are the main culprit, especially in countries like South Africa, India, and Nigeria. Losing a parent at a young age can be very traumatizing, especially since we all have the mindset that we will one day see our parents grow wrinkles. At least with the other causes, the child still knows their parents is alive and they can hopefully be reunited with them. So all of these reasons I have listed play a part in why there are so many children who don't have parents that can take care of them. The things I've informed you all about just show how much not growing in a stable home can affect a child's mental health. Poverty is one of the biggest problems in the world, and so many children are getting the short end of the stick. Lack of social services are putting kids into vulnerable situations before doing other things that can help the child. And war/disease is destructive to everyone and not just orphans. Knowing that this is a real issue and learning why it's so prevalent can help us in knowing what we need to do to fix it. Most of us are parents or will eventually become parents, and I know most of us would want our child to grow up in a loving, stable, and secure household, especially in the younger years, which are the most important when it comes to growth development. All of these reasons are why there are over 153 million children out there that don't feel like they're loved. And now it's time to ask yourself the question, what can we do about it?